Ladies and gentlemen, please put your round of applause for the one and only, our speaker today, Gina Artavia. Over to you, Gina.
Hi, everyone. My heartfelt gratitude to Empowerment Talks for inviting me to speak today about the Conscious Music Code, which is, as you heard from Vinzel, technology for the mind, using music to uplift, raise, and transform our state of consciousness. And it's very different from the different kinds of music therapy and sound healing technologies that are there. And I will show you how this works. But before telling you more about this in words, I'd rather take you through a little musical journey right in the beginning. Would that be a good idea, Vincent?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
would love that, and I'm pretty sure all of us who are there, they would have this conscious music coming, and it will be an amazing journey today. And I request everyone to please hang on tight because we have something very surprise from Gina as well, as she promised. And
Mhm.
over to you, Gina. We can start right now.
Right. So I'm just about to share sound. So just give me a second. The one thing I do request everyone for is please wear your earphones, because if you want to get the taste of this music in the right way, the way I want it for you, I need you to please wear your earphones. So okay, when I play the sound, Vinzel, just let me know if it's audible.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to pause for a second. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining this discussion and this talk on the Conscious Music Code. What we're going to do is we're going to use the music uh, to control or to channelize our breath and our thoughts that come with the breath. So, I want you to just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I will help you with that. With the beats of the music, we keep our heads in this position. Okay, so it's a slightly physical experience. So we keep it like this, and we slowly breathe in, and we take our heads back till the last point, and we keep breathing in for 8 counts: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's it. We hold our breath there, and then we release our breath. We exhale by going on any one direction, and then just turning our neck like this and bringing it back to the same position that we were in when we started. So we breathe out for 8 counts. So we exhale and we come back here, and then we inhale again for 8 counts, and then we exhale on the other side, right? So this is the physical aspect of the exercise, and we're going to do this with music. And while you breathe in, just try to breathe in the awareness of all the beautiful things that you're grateful for in your life. And when you breathe out, try to breathe out with the awareness that you are in you have the ability to let go of what is not required emotionally or in any way in your life. So just that, and we go on with the music. Here we go. So are we ready, everyone? Yeah, great. So just absorb the sound first, and slowly just close your eyes and bring your head down, bend your neck, and go down and stay there. And on my count, just start breathing in when I tell you. And now you start breathing in, and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep breathing in. 8 and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, the awareness of all the gratitude we feel in our lives for beautiful things. Breathe out, release all that we don't need in our hearts, all the burdens and everything else. And breathe in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe out. And go around. And breathe in one more time. You go up straight with your head going back, and then you turn around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One last time. You breathe in. Go straight up with your head straight up. Breathing in and breathe out. 8. Now take a deep breath. Bring your head back to a normal position and just follow where your thoughts are. Just try to follow where your mind is taking you and see if your mind is feeling something right now. Is it taking you somewhere or is it light? And whatever is happening, just notice it. One last breath. And you breathe out. Thank you so much. So there was a little, just a teaser of an opening up exercise. This is to open up your awareness and your mind to new possibilities that we're going to discuss. Wenzel, how are you feeling?
Wow, that was so good. I felt so relaxed, and the need of this is the need of an hour, to let your emotional thoughts go away, and
Right.
feel so, so calmness right now going through. Thank
Right.
you very much for that.
Right.
So this is what we are talking about, that Gina will give uh, a big surprise at the end of our session. So moving on with first thing first, Gina, thank you very much for doing this for our lovely audience over here, and also for the folks who are on YouTube. So
Yeah.
your name, Gina Arthavia. Can
Arthiva.
you, Arthiva? I'm really sorry, Arthiva. Can you
Yeah.
explain the meaning of Arthiva, Gina
Yeah.
Arthiva?
So Gina means to live, and Earthiva is a combination of earth and Eva. Earth means the earth, and Eva is another word for blessing. So I want to be a blessing to the earth. So that's what it means. And on that note, I want to start telling everyone a little more in detail about what the conscious music code really is. And for that, I'm going to share my screen to share a certain presentation for you. Yeah. Can you see what I'm sharing?
Yes, we can see
Okay.
it.
So, okay. So, okay, I'm getting a green border here. Is anyone able to see that, or it's just on my screen?
The green border, I think it's on your screen. That's because you're talking.
Yeah,
That's why
but
it's
it's coming in the middle for some reason. But you're, you can see it. You can see my presentation clearly, right?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. So, yeah, I invented something called the Conscious Music Code, and it's technology that we'll speak about. But where does it come from? So, any music that we've been listening to, any piece of music um, that you have heard, whether you're paying attention to it or you're not, is something that has secretly been programming you. So, this comes as a surprise to many people when I say this, because they say, oh, but I wasn't even paying attention to that song in the gym or when I was driving. But every piece of music that you've heard in any form has programmed you. And what do I mean by programming? I mean that if the brain or the mind is like a software or an operating system, we would be coding it with something, right? And whatever we hear is a way to code that mental software. And how does it happen? It happens neurologically, physiologically, psychologically. Physiology, of course, is from the body perspective, but every music is every piece of music is coding us with a way to change our belief systems or build our belief systems. It's affecting our moods, obviously, and it's also affecting our mental health. um, you can listen to lyrics which are empowering, or lyrics which are going to make you feel that your life is basically hopeless or something like that. And the choice of what you're listening to will reflect in the belief system that you will ultimately have. So it's a subtle but a very, very strong connection between any music we listen to and what's happening in our minds. So what's amazing about this is that it can be used in a very powerful way to heal people. And some people say sound is the medicine of the future. But it's not always so amazing, because many a times we're listening to music that is disempowering us, not reminding us of our greatness from within. We are reminded of how powerless we are, or how objectified we are. So if you're listening to that, and music is consumed by everyone everywhere, so if you're listening to that kind of music, our belief systems and our thought processes are completely controlled by that. So that brings us to the topic of what is conscious music then. So uh, when we make a conscious choice to listen to music, only that kind of music that can uplift us, we call that conscious consumption or conscious listening. And when I, as a creator of music, can consciously create, keeping in mind that whatever I create is going to go out into the audience and going to affect people, when I'm consciously aware of that, then I'm not going to create something that can pull people down. Even if it's a sad song, I will somehow be able to write it in a way that it ultimately gives people hope. So it doesn't matter which genre of music it is from. Could be a rock song, pop song, folk song, whatever genre you like. But as long as any that music, whoever is creating it, is doing it consciously, we can call it conscious creation. So music that is created with a conscious intention to raise the life state of the listener. So we are all in a particular state of life, in our in throughout our lives, in every moment. So at this point, if I play some music or write some lyrics or whatever, through my lyrics, through my beats, through my sounds, through my frequencies, through my instruments, I should be able to code my listeners, to code the consciousness of my listeners to a point where they feel raised up and not, lowered down. So that's the idea of conscious music. And whoever is creating conscious music across the world, I have all my love, support, and uh, appreciation for them. So I'm not the only conscious music artist, but in India, I'm the first one who's talking about the importance of conscious music, and thereby the first artist to be campaigning for conscious music. And this is why I call myself the first conscious music artist of India, because no one seems to be, talking about it, and it's sad. And this is why I feel my work and my mission with this field is so important. It's larger than my life and my work and my career. It's more about changing society. So, what is the conscious music code? Um, Based on the idea of conscious music, the fact that when we consciously use musical elements to uplift the mind, it actually does happen. Based on that idea, I created a music based transformation technology, or you can call it a mental health technology, which is highly immersive, because you really go into it. It's like you're going into a hypnotic trance. But there are a few things that happen, and I'll just explain a little bit of the science to you. The first thing is that we use musical elements to trigger, uh, anchor, and transform emotions, thoughts, memories, traumas, images of people. So everything that we are holding in our minds, when we move around with our body, Okay, we're also moving around with our minds. And when we move around with our minds, we're also moving around with all that the mind contains. So it's like a load, a heavy load that we're carrying all the time. All the people that we are having relationships with, all the thoughts, all the emotions, all of that travels with us wherever we go. It stays with us, it travels into our sleep even. So if we don't keep this inner map of the mind in a certain way, which is empowering, then after a while we will feel the load and we will just sink, right? And I speak from a very personal life experience, which we can go into later, but that's the science, to use musical elements to trigger those things and then change, rewire the way we are thinking, the way we are processing emotions through the musical triggers. And what happens scientifically is, neurologically, new pathways, neural pathways are formed, so that you experience life differently. So your perception is the way you experience life. So you change the perception, you change life. Literally, that's how it is. And to change perception, what we scientifically need to do is to change the neural pathways that are guiding our behaviors. So that's what I'm trying to do in this process. And now I would say that this is already working to such a great extent that sometimes I'm even surprised that what I thought would take an hour may happen in 5 minutes, and I just feel happy and surprised and pleasantly surprised. So I went on to develop this for 7 years. This whole process started for me in 2013, and initially it was very unstructured, but I put structure into it. And I went on to represent conscious music and its integration with New Code NLP in the first ever NLP conference in India. It was an international audience, international conference where people from across the world had come. And I was very, very honored to be invited to show the power of conscious music with New Code NLP. NLP is neuro linguistic programming, for those of you who don't know. Later on, I went ahead to do this very special course in mental space psychology, which is a whole new field of psychology, which has opened up new dimensions for people studying the human mind. And after that course, I decided to develop musical applications. And so I am the first person in the world right now to have developed musical applications of mental space psychology, and endorsed by the Society of Mental Space Psychology in Netherlands. So this work, which I started in my room when I was in the most terrible state of mind, has now become an international affair, and I am just thrilled and grateful every time I speak about this and show people the power of this. Some of the key highlights of the Conscious Music Code, as you can see, are to take people into a state where I can reprogram their mental space, which is the 3D space in the mind, where we hold images, releasing emotional toxins. There is a way I rejuvenate people with rhythms, unlocking the power of the unconscious mind with New Code NLP. So this is a whole different field altogether, and I use a lot of body movements and all the five senses to do it. And of course, anxiety, stress, depression, loneliness, all of that, and even rewiring our self-talk, the way we talk to ourselves. So that's kind of like the highlight. And this is a picture from one of my really intimate sessions in Mumbai. So these are some of the programs, and we can talk about that later. But for now, that's what I wanted to share about the Conscious Music Code. Oh yeah, and there's one more thing. Sorry, I'm just going to start. Just 1 second. Just trying to stop the screen sharing. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so the one last thing about the Conscious Music Code is, this is a technology in which it's not about passively getting healed. It's not like I have some special power and my music has some special power and you just sit there and you just listen to it and everything changes. No, it's not like that. And this is why it's different from sound healing and music therapy, because in this, you are the protagonist. You are the script writer of your own life experience, and you take active control in transforming your disempowering beliefs, your limiting beliefs, into empowering beliefs. I just sit here and just facilitate the process, show you the techniques, take you through the mechanism of going beyond the edge of your comfort zone, because that's really where transformation starts. If you just want to sit there and feel good, I mean, you can just play some beautiful music on YouTube. Music is great, you can listen to good frequencies, but this is not about, the conscious music code is not just about feeling good. It's not just about healing one part of my life. It is about transforming my entire being, and taking active charge of it. So with all my clients, I tell them that the work is like this: I do 100% of my work and you do 100% of your work, and together we create a massive breakthrough in the way we think, in the way we process emotions, and everything that comes with it. Yeah. So yeah, that's what this is all about.
Wow, that was wonderful, wonderful insights on the
Mm.
conscious music. And I have also come to know, to be very frank, the NLP stuff that you just said, I just
Mhm.
also got this introduced by Empowerment Talks as well.
Mhm.
So knowingly, we have 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts running in our
Yes.
mind.
Yes.
And this is something that is very correlated to that you have created.
Yeah.
So my next question to you, going to this, is where did this idea come from? And what got you into this passion of conscious music code? If you can explain this to our lovely
Yeah.
audience who is looking
Yeah.
forward to this.
Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to switch on my air conditioning, which went off. Yeah. So as for the story behind what got me to create this is completely related to what it is. So if I had not gone through certain things in my life, I would not have been creating the conscious music code. So the journey starts in 2013, when I moved from my hometown, Calcutta, to Mumbai to pursue my dreams as a singer. And by that time in Calcutta, I had already won many awards, in fact, 3 awards. And I had already sung in many films. And life was really good, and I was already performing across the world for events. And I said, okay, that's the next thing. I just go to Mumbai, and I take it to the next level. And when I reached Mumbai and started my life here, the first thing that happened to me was I lost my voice. I could not sing. I could not even speak properly. Like, my voice was something else. Like, I just could not speak properly. I could not even think of singing. And I thought this is just a throat infection or something. But this so called whatever voice problem just went on for 2.5 years. And what that means is that doctors failed. They could not understand what was actually wrong. They came up with some theories, gave me some medicines, none of which worked. Secondly, what happened was I lost all my singing work, of course, because even though people were calling me to sing for films and stuff like that, I just couldn't go because I couldn't sing. I lost, I was used to a certain income in terms of money, and all of that came down to zero. And as a combination, what happened was I had tremendous anxiety. Like, if there is an anxiety queen in the world, it's probably me. Like, the way I have faced anxiety, it is like, I cannot describe what kind of anxiety I have gone through. Depression, to a point where I just could not pick myself up from wherever I was. Like, I wouldn't even drink water for hours just because it was too far away to pick up, for me to get up and pick up the bottle of water. So it, it was dark for me in my mind. Everything was seeming hopeless, and I was lonely. All my friends were, I don't know, like they just probably gave up on me, or they found me, they didn't think I was going to be able to break through this. So, you know how people are in the world, sometimes they can just be very, very hurtful. So, this is what my life was. And it connects directly to the science and technology of the conscious music code. So, what happened is I came across a line written by my mentor, Dr. Daisaku Ikeda. He's a peace activist, and he said that we must do everything that we can to transform the life state of humankind. And I felt, wow, this is such a beautiful line, and it resonates with what I want to do. I want to change the way society is working. I want to change the mindset of people. But all that is great, but I don't have a proper mind right now because my mind is completely dark and lost, and I don't know what I'm doing. So, this is my state. And I just decided somehow that I am going to do whatever I can musically to make that line a reality, to transform the life state of humankind. So I didn't have my voice, I didn't have money, I didn't have anything. All I had was my knowledge of music. I could play the piano. So I started producing music, and music production is the way in which you use technology to create music, and that's a whole field of study. One needs to study it. But I had no formal training, and this is the point at which I want to say that learning is directly proportional to your seeking spirit. So I was seeking because I had no other option. I had to survive this, and I had to, you know, go through this. Now, I had a master's in computer science as a degree, and many people said, just go back and take a job or whatever. But I decided to fight it head on and to win in this. And when I went and started pressing buttons on my computer, clicking things in the music software to be able to create music, I realized I knew nothing about this. And it irritated me. I spent days and nights trying to learn this from Google and from YouTube and this and that. But what happened was, slowly I realized I was gravitating towards sounds that was towards sounds, beats, frequencies that were taking me on some sort of a high, like how you drink and feel intoxicated. I was feeling the same kind of intoxication, but the difference was this was not based on substance, it was based on natural stuff like music. And that was a very amazing feeling that I could create a distance from my mind, which was messed up and depressed and anxious, and I didn't know what I was doing. I could create a distance from this mind between my, what I would like to say is maybe my human spirit, my soul, or however you call it, it doesn't matter. That part of me and this part of me, which is the mind, there was a distance. I could now go higher than my mind, and I could observe what's happening in my mind. I could, see how I could try to solve the puzzle of the mind, but from a distance. So I was emotionally detached from my own depression and anxiety. It's funny to hear, but that's what happened with this music. And I just kept going higher and higher and higher. And that's what I realized is the raising of consciousness. When you raise your consciousness, that's the feeling you get. Like all your problems are there, your mental problems, your physical problems, everything is there, but they are below you. They don't rule you, you rule them, right? And this got me very excited, and I kept making music, kept making music. Sometimes I came up with like 20 seconds of a loop because I was not even trained. But slowly, over the period of 2.5 years, I was able to create songs and music tracks and all of this. And I didn't know what I was creating was actually conscious music. I discovered it much later, or I'd rather realize it much later. The amazing part was what the doctors could not achieve with my voice. I achieved it through my music, and I got back my voice. And so that was a tangible physical transformation in my body, because my vocal cords wouldn't, like in the endoscopy, it would show that it's not really, it's like this. It's not shutting like this, the way it should be for a certain sound to come out. And I still have the video recordings of the endoscopy. This would not happen. It would do only this much. So my vocal cords transformed based on this. So this is a physical transformation, but this only happened because of oneness of body and mind, because my mind was way more powerful now that I had this access to something so amazing. So I went from being a singer who lost her voice to a singer come music composer, music producer, and I started I restarted my events, started performing across the world again. It took me time to convince people that I'm back in action, but it happened. People believed me after a while. Money started coming in again, and I started feeling empowered. At this point, I also composed music for a film and 3 short films, and I'm doing music. I'm composing music for another film this year. So all that happened, but now with all this, I was still unhappy about where I was. There was something. There's something in my mind that was exploding, because all the music that I had created for those 2.5 years, uh, I somehow didn't have the confidence to release it. I thought nobody would understand it. I thought people would call me crazy. And it's true, people did call me crazy, because when I started telling people about this, they said, yeah, but it's okay. You should focus on your career and just sing and, make money and forget about all this. This is fine, but it's just too crazy for you to try at this point. You'll ruin your entire career if you go into all this. And they could not be more wrong. you know this is also the point at which I want to say that we have to be deaf to our surroundings when we want to make a breakthrough, which is concerning a soul urge that your soul tells you to do. And my soul was completely aligned with this. So I was still scared, but finally in 2019 I had the courage to give myself a whole new name and give birth to uh, who I truly was, the person I was ignoring. So my original name is Sukanya Ghosh, and Gina has always been my nickname. But I made myself Gina Earthiva. That's what I really built out of my experience of life. And Earthiva, as I said, is blessing to the earth. And I want to live as a blessing to the earth. And I launched a new YouTube channel, a new everything on social media, and just launched my first song. And I didn't know what would happen. But suddenly people started, not just praising the work, but they started saying things like, I'm feeling a high, I'm feeling intoxicated with this music, cannot get enough of it. It needs to be on a loop. And I said, oh, so what was happening to me is also happening to people. And it was just the most amazing realization. And then I went, traveled to many places. I went to the UK specifically, and I played my music to people. I performed in a few places, and I found that people were reacting so well. It's not just about liking the music, it's about giving me the feedback that I wanted to really hear about going high and feeling transformed from within. And this is not just about good music or bad music. This is the difference between music and conscious music, and this is where I was in London in August, when I actually came across the term conscious music, and I realized some people in the world are making conscious music, very few. And I said, no one in India. And I searched and searched and searched, and no one's doing it. And I said, okay, so I'm just going to do this because this is what my life is telling me to do. And so my genre was new age Indian electronica. So there's electronic music. It's very enjoyable. You can dance to it and everything, but it's also not the typical EDM. It is new age. So it's very spiritual electronica, but it's also Indian, and it's very international, and it was funny that people in the UK were singing lines that I had written in Sanskrit, and they were singing along with those lines. I could not believe my ears and my eyes. And then I came back to India and I launched, at that time, I called it Conscious Music for Mental Health. And later on, once I had the structure in place, I launched the Conscious Music Code. I got invited to the NLP conference, which I told you about, and then went on to create the first musical applications of mental space psychology. In fact, this month, the Society of Mental Space Psychology in Netherlands has, uh, you know, published my work in their newsletter, and the work is just growing exponentially, and I'm just following my calling from inside. So the very important thing to realize at this point for me is that this would not have happened if I didn't have certain people. So certain people left my environment and judged me and thought I was crazy. But certain other people came into my life who really believed in me, supported me, and trusted me. And this is because of them that I was able to actually do what I'm doing. And yeah, I can see Dr. Sanjay Agarwal here, who played a very important role at a crucial point in helping me structure my marketing side of it. And there's so much more that happened. So that's my backstory of the Conscious Music Code.
Wow, what a life transformational journey, as said by Michael Pinto over here. And I could visualize, that you have been through this so much. And
Mm-hmm.
I also see that your journey has now started. If I'm not
Mm-hmm.
wrong, it was on March 8th, 2000,
Yeah.
2018. That's what I'm seeing right now. And
Yeah.
whenever I write about conscious music first, that Google immediately pulls up your, your page.
I'm
I'm
so glad.
happy. I'm so glad that we are talking to a very inspiring transformational coach who has transformed within when everything let down and decided to follow your passion and the thoughts.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if I have to, if I can relate this question to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this conscious music can lead to any meditation? I mean, is it used for
So
meditation?
So, see, any conscious music can be used to code you, code your mental software in a positive way. So, if you want to create meditations out of it, you can, and all of that. But my process in the conscious music code is it is meditative, it is hypnotic, but I don't keep it at a passive level where you just listen and you just breathe in and breathe out. It's not just that. You can start like that, like I took you through a little exercise in the beginning, is just to open up your awareness. But even in that, it's not passive. I made sure that you were doing something actively in it. And that's where the difference between traditional music based meditation and the conscious music code is, because here you or whoever is undergoing it, my clients or everybody, is the protagonist, not the music. The music doesn't heal you, you heal yourself. The music uh, uh, takes you to a certain level of consciousness. So always empowering my clients and whoever is going through this. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a question coming from the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Is how does one get access to this technology?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So this technology, in a way, I'm very happy to say that it's only with me, and in a way, I'm also sad that enough number of people are not practicing it. And someday, I hope that I will have lots of people who are, taking it from me and doing it themselves. But right now, it's only with me. So what you have to do is just maybe Wenzel will paste my social media links uh, right now, and you can just get in touch with me. And I have a lot of programs which are designed uh, for individual courses, and these are very transformational handheld courses. So I'm going to hold your hand, take you through 12 days or 21 days of complete transformation using the music. So I have things like dealing with anxiety, I call it overriding anxiety. One thing that has been my best selling product till now, I think, is the self love for empaths program. Then there is, dealing with loneliness, reprogramming your mental space, and resonance of relationships. That's another program I run. So I have many running programs. And right now, during the lockdown and this whole pandemic, I could not do too many group sessions unless somebody organized it for me. I was doing more of individual sessions. There were already quite a lot of that. But I'm happy to do group sessions. Maybe we can do something together with Empowerment Talks. And yeah, but you can get in touch with me for individual ones. And very soon I will have my online programs coming up, which will be much cheaper in terms of price, and just working on the website and getting everything ready.
Okay, thank you. And I think you just read my mind. I was about to ask is, can we get a taste of what we are talking about in actual exercise? I mean, right now, as you said, that you can
I
do.
definitely want to do that, Wenzel. In fact, I'm glad you asked me for it. And also, before I do that, I just want to tell everyone, look, my programs and everything is fine. If you ever want to sign up, it's great. If not, also, I do definitely want every one of you to please listen to my music and let me know how you feel. And my music is available on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, everywhere. So on Spotify, you just type my name, Gina Earthiva. It's Earth with IVA. And that's it. And you just listen to my music and let me know how you feel. There's some tracks already there and more music coming up. And also on my social media, there are a lot of exercises that I give out just like that for people who can't do my courses for whatever reason. Those exercises are there on my YouTube channel. I have a 21-day course of the Conscious Music Code, free, uploaded for anyone to, get a taste of. So those things are there. And now I want to take you through a little exercise. It's going to be something in which all of you will be the protagonists. Remember that you are the scriptwriter of your life. That's the basis of the Conscious Music Code. So you are going to be involved in it. And I'm going to be playing the music. I'm going to have to share the sound for that. So give me a second. So are we all ready, Wenzel?
Absolutely, I'm so ready, and we have this still lovely audience, and definitely they want to experience the different
Yes.
level of music that you have created.
Yes.
So waiting for it. Over to you.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So I invite you again on a journey of the Conscious Music Code. So close your eyes, wear your earphones. Please do that, because otherwise you'll miss out on the frequencies that I've worked very hard to create. So please wear it, and let's get started. Okay. Let me know if you can hear this. Sorry. No, not this. Can you hear this? Yes. Okay. So just close your eyes and just absorb this sound. Make sure you breathe in and breathe out at a comfortable pace. Now, imagine a situation which is your ideal situation, a place where you want to be, person with whom you want to be in that place, what you want to have achieved when you're there, your ideal life experience. And most importantly, what is it that you want to experience right at this moment? What is the feeling you want to experience? Do you want to experience the feeling of success? Do you want to experience the feeling of being loved? Do you want to experience the feeling of joy? Whatever. Just pinpoint the feeling that you want to feel. And now I'm going to play you a certain rhythm. want you to associate that sound, which I will play for you, with the race of life. So we have this ideal situation in your mind, we have visualized it, but our lives are probably not so aligned with that ideal situation, and we're running and we're trying to achieve so many things, do so many things. So I'm going to play your sound to associate all the moving around that you do in your life. Here we go. Sound of a mridangam. Just imagine that you're going from place to place, from person to person, from situation to situation, and your mind is moving from one place to another. Thoughts are coming, and then you said 60,000 or 80,000 thoughts in your mind in a day. All that is happening in your life, like the whole universe of things in your mind. Images of people that are important to you in your mind. Important in a good way, important in a bad way. Everything. Just taking the experience. And the beat is going to get more intense. That's your life. That's the sound and frequency, the beat of the race of life. You're racing against time, and you're doing so many things, trying to balance everything. Imagine all the situations in your mind. Let them pop up in your mind. Now, take your right hand or your left hand, take one finger, your index finger, and take the other hand, the palm, and start tracing the feeling. So if your right hand goes on your left palm, start drawing the sensation of what you feel right now. So it could be just scribbling, you writing some words that you're feeling right now. You know, if you're feeling stressed or anxious or beautiful or amazing, trace the word or trace, just trace the feeling. Don't worry about where it's coming from. It doesn't have to make sense. Go with the beat, go with the music. Sense, physical sensation of the finger touching the palm. We're going to use our sense organs. We're already using our inner eye to visualize. We're using our ears to hear. We're using the skin to have the sensation of touch. Scribbling on your palm. Scribble on your wrist now. Scribble all across your hand if you want. Trace the feelings that you feel. Anger, frustration, happiness, sadness, whatever it is. Now, I will play you a whole new sound on top of this sound. This is your life. You're running around, so much is happening. But I'm going to introduce you to your true self through the next sound, to your ability of going into a higher state of life despite all the madness of life that life brings. So, there is a difference between the self that is stressed with everything that's happening in life and the self that is at a higher state, connected to your higher purpose, connected to your higher consciousness. And we're going to awaken that higher consciousness in you, and you have to just be open to receive. Alright? Now take your other hand, and use a finger from that hand. So if you were using your right hand, take the left hand. If you were using your left hand, use your right hand. Take your left hand finger, and now just place it on the palm of the other hand. So this is your finger from the left hand, place it on the right hand palm, and you wait. Wait for the sound to come. Take you to your higher consciousness. Here we go. Follow the sound of the violin. Trying to up have this higher consciousness rising up from within you, literally like emerging from the earth of your being. Straight with it, going, feel it on your skin. When you feel it intensely, just start rubbing both your palms now. Just rub your palms. What we're doing right now, we are rubbing two things and merging them together. So one is the sensation of you being stretched out with life and whatever is happening, and the other is your higher self. So on one palm you have the of your negativity, of your all that you do, and on the other palm you have your awakened self. So merging them by rubbing your palms together, rubbing them. Raise your palms together like a namaste and go up, right up to the violet. Go up, keep your hands up, and then drop it again and start. Rub your palms, raise them up, your shoulder, above your head, take your hands above your head. Feel that you are rising up to the light. Touch the light above you. Come on, one more time. Down below. Go up. Imagine that all your problems are below you and you're going up to touch the light. Stretch your hands. Drop. One more time. Down below. Everything is below you. Your higher self is rising. Body move. Have free flow of movement. Move your hands, move your shoulders back, move. Dance, move, whatever you want. It doesn't have to make sense or movement. Just keep going with the rhythm. One last time. Move the rhythm of your soul. Come on. Allow it to happen. Allow magic of the spirit to happen inside your body, mind, and soul. When that happens, just now breathe once again and gather your emotions, gather your thoughts into a focal point, and just believe that you and that light which was shining from above you has become one and the same. You have become the light. Keep your eyes closed and envision that your body, your mind, your soul is shining with that beautiful glow of light, whichever color you want it to be. Just glow with that light. When you are the light, the darkness cannot conquer you. You conquer the darkness. So your life and your situations, everything may seem like they are the same, but your awareness of your true purpose and your higher self, your awareness of you being the light, can conquer every other situation that might seem to be disturbing you. Allow it to happen. Allow this light to move out of your body slowly, or rather radiate out of your body slowly, and reach all the dark areas of your life. That troubling relationship, that money issue, that health issue, let it permeate all of those things. And this is not abstract theory. When you actually visualize this happening, your mind comes up with wise strategies to actually change the harsh reality of life. And this is a fact. Perception is reality, and reality is perception. Perceive differently, your reality starts becoming the book that you are writing. So note, when you feel comfortable, you may open your eyes and let me know how you felt. This is, of course, a very simple exercise and a very generic one. I just wanted to give you a taste of this. The song is called Forest Diaries. It's available on Spotify and iTunes and everywhere else. So, Wenzel, how are you feeling?
Well, the vibrations that you can see, I'm still sweating as well, even though my AC, fans, everything is on, but
Mhm, mhm.
amazing. I know that maybe you were doing something, but I just closed my eyes
Mhm.
and I could only feel that vibration and the music. Then, I
Mhm.
would definitely go back and watch the recording again.
Right.
Uh, Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Now, before we go for the vote of thanks, I would like you to please give us the feedback on Empowerment Talks. How was your experience on today's session?
I think this is a beautiful community that you have formed, bringing people like us together. And I really want to congratulate you for this beautiful work that you all are doing. And it was amazing. In fact, I'm just starting to read all the comments from everyone. Thank you so much for, appreciating this process and for choosing to listen to this and go through the conscious music code exercises. So Empowerment Talks, I think, is going a very long way, and I see a long-term association with Empowerment Talks. That's what uh, visually I can imagine, because we kind of resonate about the why of the Empowerment Talks. And thank you everyone for listening and doing this with me. And please send in your questions, maybe on the chat, or connect with me on social media. I would love it if all of you who attended this can follow me on social media, not just to increase the number of followers, but because I really want to create a community for the conscious music code as well, where people become conscious of the music that they're listening to and realize the power it has in changing our belief systems. Thank you so
Well,
much. And the social media links are already posted by Wenzel. It's just Gina Artiva everywhere.
yeah,
JEEN.
yes, I shall do that again from my side. But thank you very much. And I can assure you one thing, that I will be your follower in all of your pages, because I love music, and this is something which I was looking forward for,
Right.
because I believe that this is the need of an hour for
Mm-hmm.
getting
Mm-hmm.
inspired for yourself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So before we go, first of all, for our YouTube followers, thank you very much for joining us live, and do follow our amazing speaker, that is Gina Artiva, if I've spelled correct.
Yes, yes,
Thank
you
you
did
very
it right.
much. Now I hand over the platform to our